use of the ball. So Brian Noble and Jake Webster, they're both pleased with where their respective sides are at in regards to their pre-season preparations. We're at Odsal this afternoon as Bradford and Keighley meet in a Bradford City of Culture 2025 derby, and I'm sure those watching and listening in this afternoon will get to see the early green shoots of progress as Bradford are already 20 metres shy of the halfway line with Ronan Michael. Suda goes out a dummy half and goes on the short side, 5 shy of halfway here. It is Bradford 0, Keighley 0, as we see Logan Bayliss, the former Brisbane Bronco man, carry the balls on tackle 3 up to halfway, just to the left of centre field here. Suits around a dummy half, now to Keys. Misses out Meadows, finds Skur, and Skur will carry the ball 5 metres inside the Keighley half on tackle number 4. Quick play the ball, that allows Suter to go scampering and sniping out a dummy half. Keighley already backed up inside their own 20-metre line now as the Bradford Bulls move the ball across the face of the post as Keys drops the shoulder, takes the line on. Good defensive tackle there from George Flanagan. They're coming straight down the middle here with Ronan Michael, and Ronan Michael is inches away from the try line. Bradford must have had a set restart here because they're now on the last tackle in front of the post. Keys to Meadows, towards Blake, to Ockenbaugh. Ockenbaugh's just going to run out of room, and he is brought down by some very efficient, effective sliding defence from the Keighley Cougars. Junior Sow leading that one alongside Brandon Pickersgill, and Jaden Ockenbaugh is brought down a metre in from touch, around about 4 metres out from that Keighley try line. So Bradford's first set of 6 saw them go pretty close to troubling the scoreboard operator here at Bardacard Odsal, but it remains Bradford 0, Keighley 0, wherever you are in the world. I hope it's a lot warmer and certainly a bit more sunny than it is here at Odsal Stadium this afternoon. Flanagan out of dummy half, gives the ball there to Elliot Cousins, one of those 6 players on debut for the Keighley Cougars. Flanagan's in there at dummy half, goes short ball there towards former Bradford man Brad England. There's 4 former Bulls in this Keighley side this afternoon, and he's 20 out from his own try line. First penalty of the afternoon goes in favour of the Bradford Bulls. A bit of unsportsmanlike conduct there from Brad England, and Kevin Moore was not going to be kidded there, because Brad England, he grabbed hold of the ankle of Joe Keys and he dragged him down to the floor, and that was right under the referee's nose. So first penalty of this pre-season game. Bradford not going to go for 2, they're going to run the ball in. They're 20 out from the line. It'll be Suter to Bayliss on tackle number 1, and now Bayliss plays the ball 12 out in front of the post. Keys to Meadows on that left-hand side, and Bradford go surging forward. Both sides in their brand new jerseys for 2025. Suter pinches one out of dummy half. Held up over the line is the call from the officials. We go back to the 10. We've had 3 minutes gone here at Bardacard Odsal. It remains Bradford 0, Keighley 0, but Bradford, they are putting a bit of pressure on the Cougars' defensive line early doors here. So Suter will play the ball. Keys now gives it back to Ireland international, new signing from the Knights. It's Ronan Michael, big year ahead for him as it goes towards Keys again, and a short sniping run sees Matty G over the Keighley line, but the referee will just say he's inches short. They're on the last tackle here, the Bulls. Keys puts boot to ball, it's heading towards the in-goal area. They've spilled it as Mark Ione. It's going to be grounded in the in-goal area, say the officials. And Mark Ione there, the former Gold Coast London Lee man, he had a real crunching tackle applied to him there by Joe Keys, who was chasing up his kick, and the ball just squirmed loose in the in-goal area. And it was a case of could the Keighley forward ground the ball, because it was live as those red, amber and black white shirted Bulls players were looking to probe and potentially apply downward pressure for an early score. As it is, it's 0-0 here, but Bradford back on the attack after that first goal line dropout forced by Joe Keys. And they are 20 out now with Eben Skur. They're 10 out now with Ronan Michael, and they're surging forward here. Keighley committing 3 defenders to bring down the Irish international. Out of dummy half from Suter to Keys. Keys to Skur. Skur's going to go towards the line, rolled over on his back. That's good defence there from Brandon Pickersgill. They're backed up right on their own try line here, the Keighley Cougars, as Suter finds Michael. Ronan Michael is going to meet England and Cousins and Ione head on. 2 tackles left for the Bulls. They're coming on this main stand side here now with Keys, and it's a cut-out pass to Ockenbaugh, who can't take it in. If Ockenbaugh takes that one in, he's in at the corner, and I think it was Meadows who just passed, and it was a little bit low on the ground, so an error there from the Bulls after forcing the goal line dropout, but they have spilled possession, 5 out from the Keighley line, and now Keighley, they're on tackle number 3, and they're very nearly dragged back into the in-goal area there by Mitch Shooter and Logan Bayliss, and they forced the error here, and that's great defence from Mitch Shooter and Logan Bayliss, because Junior Sow, he was putting coal in the furnace. He was ready to build up a head of steam, but his run was negated by that big physical body check from Logan Bailey. Suter came in, the ball's come loose. It's an error apiece here, and we've had 5 minutes gone on the clock. It's still Bradford 0, Keighley 0, and this big Bradford crowd are also in the main stand. They're really receptive and enjoying that one. So, Keys, second spell at the Bulls. Well, the referee, Kevin Moore, just not happy that the scrum has been set correctly, so he'll just reset the scrum. 10 metres out, slap bang in middle of the Keighley post. Bradford 0, Keighley 0 here. 5 gone on the clock. Suter to Meadows, to Tyndall, and he's in at the corner, try disallowed. It was actually George Rayner who had the ball, drew in the Keighley edge defender, and Tyndall, who's on trial with the Bulls, he's over in at the corner, try disallowed, try chalked off. Referee Kevin Moore, Johnny on the spot, he says forward pass. Well, we've got a little bit of a treat at half time. We'll give you an update what's happening in the wonderful world of rugby league, and we just see that there on the replay. Rayner's pass to Tyndall, one of those 50-50 ones, but the officials a lot closer. Bradford denied a try-scoring opportunity there. Tyndall did go over in the corner, and here we go. Scrum NFE to Keighley, 10 out from their own try line, and immediately it's going to be Wonga Blake and Junior Sow who meet, and now Brad England's pushed back, and Keighley on tackle 2. They are behind where the scrum was formed. Look at this Bulls defence early doors here. It's going right straight into the face. Lachlan Lansky, he can only make a couple of metres forward. There's still 12 out from their own line on tackle number 3, as we see Emmanuel Waney, Eben Skur, they're dragged back towards the 10 again, the Cougars here. They've had 4 tackles, and there's 10 metres out from their own line here. So Jake Webster might just be looking and thinking, well, we're on the last tackle, we've made no metres because they're going to kick from their own in-goal area here, and it is going to be Isaac Farrell who puts boot to ball over on the far stand side, but it's going to be a penalty to Keighley here because Isaac Farrell has been taken out by Emmanuel Waney, and despite the error over on the far stand side, which had the Bull supporters cheering, let me tell you, the kick from the in-goal area, it was it only got as far as Keighley's own 30-metre line before there was a knock-on by Brad Holroyd. But it is a penalty for Emmanuel Waney making contact with Isaac Farrell, and Keighley now a repeat set of 6, and for the first time this afternoon you feel they are going to have a play the ball inside the Bradford half of the field. There'll be Lachlan Lansky playing in on tackle 1. Now it's Flanagan to Ione, and he does carry Keighley inside the Bradford half. They're 5 metres inside the Bulls half, centre field. Flanagan directing and orchestrating now the dummy half as it goes now to Cousins, and he's wrapped up 35 away from the Bradford line. In defence there was Michael and G for the Bulls as Keighley move the ball now with Dean. Ball goes on that right hand edge, 25 out on tackle number 4. Flanagan scoops, picks up out of dummy half, runs straight to Meadows and Keys. And the Cougars now on tackle 4, they find themselves 15 away from the Bradford line, looking to open the scoring here after all that early Bradford pressure. Pickersgill has it, kicks on tackle number 4, but young George Rayner, he applies the brakes, although he's going to be dragged back into the goal area here, and referee Kevin Moore will give Bradford a penalty. He said the tackle was complete. George Flanagan and Brandon Pickersgill, 2 former Bulls players, they just asked the referee to say come on, but the referee Kevin Moore saying momentum stopped, penalty to Bradford. So 2 penalties to 1 here, and we're approaching the 10-minute mark at Barnacard Odsal, and it remains at Bradford 0, Keighley 0. So Bradford just going to be moving the ball from deep inside their own half of the field. As we said, Bradford 10 players on debut this afternoon. Keighley have 6 as we see one of those players, the Irish international, the Wolfhound, Ronan Michael, and he's wrapped up 20 shy of halfway centre field. Here goes Eben Skur running on that left-hand edge, and I think Jake Webster will be absolutely pleased and delighted that his Keighley side, despite conceding the penalty, the set restart and the goal line drop out, have kept Bradford out early doors here, as Mitch Souter now carries Bradford 10 inside the Keighley half on what is tackle number 4. Out of dummy half now from Keys to Bayliss. Bayliss is wrapped up on what will be the last tackle, and they're 25 away from the Keighley line as Keys puts boot to ball, targets Tyndall and Tafua. Tafua's come up with the ball, tries to offload the ball behind him to Tyndall. He gets it to Tyndall. Tyndall's heading towards the corner, but the referee will say that tackle was completed. 10 out from the Keighley line, and it remains here at Barricade Odsal on West Yorkshire Radio this afternoon. A bit of a festive fixture on a Sunday afternoon. It remains Bradford 0, Keighley 0. Both sides making no changes thus far. I'm sure there's going to be plenty as we see young Billy Walkley. 20 tries for the Cougars last season. He'll carry Keighley just outside their own 10-metre line. Here goes Junior Sow with all that experience and leadership. He's brought down there by Emmanuel Waney and Eben Skur in a 2-man tackle on his own 20-metre line, as we see Keighley now move the ball over on this left-hand edge here with the German international Adam Ryder. 10 tries last term for the Cougars as Flanagan goes out of dummy half now to England. England bounces off loan, ball goes off the bootlaces of Pickersgill, picked up to Farrell. Farrell kicks, Tyndall turns, but it's going to be young Rayner who's going to take it in open field. 20 out, up to the 30. Good take there from young George Rayner, who has a real good chance to impress with both Tom Holmes and Jordan Lilly currently on the return to play table. Did a knocking ball up and over halfway. Tackle free on this fresh set for the Bulls. Souter dummy half, now to Bayliss. Bayliss down the middle. 38 out from the Keighley line. They'll make a couple of metres after contact. Referee says held, play the ball. Souter to dummy half to Michael, to Keys. Bradford have broken clear a little bit here with Matty G, and someone's been taken out off the ball here. I think it was Joe Keys, a Keighley player, taking him out after the pass. It's a penalty in front of the post. The referee's going to stop the clock here, and that will be a 3rd penalty in this first half. That has gone the way of the Bulls. A bit of discipline creeping in there from the Keighley Cougars. Won't be anything more than just a penalty and a little bit of a warning about the late contact. But here at Barricade Odsal, we have 11 and a half minutes gone on the clock. Well, referee Kevin Moore here is actually stopping the clock, and he wants a word with the Keighley captain, Junior Sow. We can't lip read from this far away from the back of the gantry. Oh, it's 10 minutes. Well, Keighley are down to 12 men here. Well, perhaps this is a sign of things to come in 2025. It looked minimal, did the contact. Yes, it was late, but certainly a very, very, in my opinion, harsh sin binning for the Keighley Cougars. So they are down to 12 men here. Not quite sure who the player is. It's Elliot Cousins, I think, the former Bradford Academy man. He's gone for 10. So, can Bradford open the scoring here against the 12 men of Keighley as Keys gives it out to G, and G goes surging forward, and he's a metre out, scrambling, suffocating Keighley defence. They are stretched in the middle of the park. If Bradford can move the ball there, which is where Keys goes, now to Skur. Skur wrapped up by Ione and Pickersgill, and the 5 out to the left-hand side of the post here. Repeat set from the Bulls. Keighley down to 12 men as Meadows finds Rayner. Rayner to Blake. Blake's getting a lot of attention there, and Junior Sow's trying to drag him into touch, but Blake has put the handbrake on. But in the act of putting the handbrake on, Wonga Blake has come up with Bradford's 2nd error in this first half, 5 away from the line. And you might have just picked that up there on the vision on the screen there. George Flanagan was absolutely like the kid who believes in Father Christmas, coming over and jumping for joy there and giving a massive pat on the back to Junior Sow, who used his experience there to come into that tackle and force Wonga Blake to, how can we say it, try and offload the ball before he was into touch. Well, It is Elliot Cousins, the former Bradford and West Bowling man, new signing, who has gone for 10, and is this down below our commentary position here, shaking his head, speaking to the Keighley coaching staff, and thus far looks good for Keighley. They've managed to weather that numerical disadvantage. We've had 14 gone on the clock. If you're joining us, Sunday afternoon rugby league, it's Bradford 0, Keighley 0. The game will almost certainly be finishing in darkness and the floodlights ablaze, as Mark Ione, the former London man, is going to carry Keighley 25 shy of halfway on what is now tackle free. Flanagan's in there at dummy half. Big, strong carry here from Dan Parker. Second spell at the Keighley Cougars. 10 shy of halfway. He'll get to his feet. He'll play the ball. Flanagan goes over on the right-hand side. Offloads the ball along the line to Lachlan Lansky, but he's held there a metre shy of halfway on the last. So it'll be Farrell who puts boot to ball. He's skewed that one. It's a difficult one for Rayner. He'll leave it for Tingle. Well, young George Rayner, and here goes Liam Tingle, the former Leeds Hull FC man, and Tingle very nearly breaking through the tackle, offloads the ball back to Rayner. Rayner's away, Rayner's wrapped up 10 shy of halfway, and all of a sudden you're seeing that second phase from the Bradford Bulls as George Tafu has been taken out off the ball, and Meadows is caught just below the shoulder by Brad England. He'll get to his feet, he'll play the ball, will young James Meadows. Now back on the inside from Ockenbaugh to Michael. Just heard a little bit of the war cry, come on you Bulls, from the Bulls faithful in the main stand in the South Bank then, and the 10 inside the Keighley half as Suter goes sniping, Darling out of dummy half. Tackle number 4, one left for Keighley to repel. Bradford have gone 60 metres on this set as Meadows gives the ball to Wainey, and Wainey is going to be wrapped up, the PNG international. 10 away from the line, they're on the last. Meadows to Wonga Blake, and it's 2 of Bradford's new signings. James Meadows on the last tackle, perfectly threaded through the legs of Brandon Pickersgill. There was no one at home, no one back. Pickersgill, the last line of defence, he committed himself, he backed himself to stop James Meadows. But just when you thought Pickersgill was going to wrap Meadows up, Meadows just got the kick away in time. And what a start for Wonga Blake. The Fijian flyer left St Helens after a disappointing 2024. He is really looking to light up the championship and play a big part in a successful 25 for the Bradford Bulls. And when I spoke to Wonga Blake just last weekend, he knows he's a big name addition to the Bulls, really optimistic about the future for himself and the Bradford club, and he certainly views this upcoming 2025 season as a significant opportunity for a fresh start working under Brian Noble after that difficult season at St Helens. And interestingly, he actually credited his performance for Fiji in the recent Pacific Championships and that supportive, loving atmosphere that Franklin Pellet and Jaden Ockenbaugh have spoken about at the Bradford Bulls. So his focus and enthusiasm is back on point. Kick predictor turned on for the first time this afternoon, 80% Keys, just to the right hand side of the post, but that one has gone across the face, just caught the wind there at the 11th hour. But we are 17 minutes gone into this game, and it's the perfect start for Bradford Bulls star signing Wonga Blake. So he has got his account up and running, and when you watch that one back on the replay, perfectly weighted, delicately placed kick from Meadows into the space. A little bit of luck how it went through and under Brandon Pickersgill. Not that the Bradford Bulls will be complaining about that one. So Bradford 4, Keighley 0, West Yorkshire Radio. Just coming towards the end of the first quarter here. We've had 18 gone on the clock. How good is it that rugby league is back? And here from the restart, Mitch Suter is up to the 20, up to the 30, finally brought down by Adam Ryder on the Bradford 40. So Bradford just purring you feel a little bit here, and now here goes the jukebox, the former Manly Sea Eagle, 11 seasons at Brookvale Oval for the jukebox. He'll play the ball on halfway, tackle 2. Here goes Keys, very nearly darting past Adam Ryder there, and that last line of Keighley defence, but Bradford surging forward here with Ronan Michael. He's inside the 20, he's inside the 10, Ronan Michael to line, he's got the ball down, is it a try-on debut? Referee looks and says knock on. Oh my word, that would have been something special for the Irish international. There's boos and jeers from the supporters, but that was very, very good attacking rugby league play, very enterprising. And when I think Brian Noble just watches that 50-second clip there, that will certainly warm him and Lee Greenwood and Keith Senior's hearts. But it has been denied. There was 2 Keighley defenders right at the death, just stopping Ronan Michael. He did actually end up in the in-goal area, but the ball has come loose according to the officials. So second try disallowed this afternoon. It remains Bradford 4, Keighley 0. It's a cold, chilly afternoon at Barnacard. Also, Junior South playing the ball as the ball now goes out of dummy half from Flanagan to Farrell. They're 5 shy of halfway here, the Cougars. They've not had too much possession or ball inside the Bradford half as Brad England floats the ball to Junior South on tackle 4. They're on halfway playing the ball, and here goes Mark Ione. Wrapped up there on the last now by Emmanuel Wainey. Keighley 40 out from the Bradford line. Farrell just kicks the ball on the full, into touch, play the ball to the Bulls. 15 out from halfway, inside their own half. And as I said, the pitch just starting to cut up here. It probably will resemble a mud heap, a mud bath come the 80th minute. It's very, very heavy. We have had the storm, we've had the incessant rain throughout the course of the evening and the morning, as we now see Jaden Ockenbaugh wrapped up in a 3-man tackle. 10 shy of halfway. Well, George Flanagan stolen the ball here, right under the nose of the official. And, well, he's playing the pantomime villain there, is George, and you know, he'll be a little bit frustrated there, George. It is pre-season. 4 penalties to 1 now in favour of the Bulls. When there's 3 players involved in that tackle and there's an arm stripping action, very difficult for the officials not to come to the conclusion that that ball has been stolen. So Bradford will just tap the ball on the halfway line here. It'll be Meadows to Michael, who very nearly joined Wonga Blake with a try on his Bradford Bulls debut, as we now see Logan Bayliss here. He's a revelation, made his Bulls debut in the 12-all draw in round 14 last season away to Toulouse, and Bradford go there in round 3. We can already tell you that'll be getting streamed and covered on West Yorkshire Radio. The 10 out from the line here now at Bradford, as we see Keys, pirouette, drop the shoulder, last gasp defence there from the Keighley Cougars. It's a slow play of the ball, but Bradford looking to up the intensity as we see Morgan Bayliss along the line to Eben Skur, and Eben Skur, anything Franklin Pelly can do, Eben Skur can do just as well. Too much power, too much strength. There was no stopping Eben Skur, one of 8 homegrown players in this Bradford side this afternoon. He touches down at the left-hand side of the post. And after 25 minutes on the clock, Bradford have their second try of the afternoon. This one is just to the left-hand side of the post. The kick predictor turned on, and it's at 100%. Well, it was at 80% for Joe Keys' first conversion attempt, but we are factoring this biblical swirling wind. So it does look like Jordan Lillett will relinquish the goal kicking duties for 2025. As Joe Keys puts that one between the posts. And here on West Yorkshire Radio, syndicated coverage with Bulls TV. 25 minutes gone on the clock. Bradford Bulls 10, Keighley Cougars 0. Wonga Blake and a familiar name on the Bulls score sheet, Eben Skur, the 2 try scorers this afternoon. So, Isaac Farrell about to put boot to ball and get the restart back underway here. I think the most pleasing aspect from Brian Noble's point of view will be Bradford's defence, that they have just not allowed Keighley any opportunities on their own line. They've had 1 play the ball inside the Bradford 20-metre line, and we've had 25 minutes gone on the clock. That is the dominance that Bradford have in this game in terms of the forward battle. But I think Jake Webster will be equally pleased with the never say die attitude of Keighley's defence. You know, certainly forcing the error from Wonga Blake, Jaden Okinbaugh, forcing the forward pass from Rayner, that saw Tyndall denied. As Bradford on the restart now come upfield here with Logan Bayliss, the former Brisbane Bronco man. He's rolled over on his back. 2 tackles left here for the Bulls on this spell of possession after the restart, as Meadows kicks early on tackle number 4. Pickers goes back to trap the ball with his boot, and he's caught high there by Wonga Blake, but he was slipping. The Keighley supporters, they're wanting Wonga Blake to go for 10, but Kevin Moore will apply common sense. Pickersgill was slipping in the Odsal mud. It will just be a penalty. I don't think Keighley players there are too aggrieved. Bradford will remain at 13. Elliot Cousins, incidentally, back out there on the field. So whilst Keighley were reduced to 12 men, they conceded those 2 tries. So a bit of a costly sin bin for young Elliot Cousins. Neither side has made any changes yet thus far that we can see, as Flanagan now to Cousins, who's back on the field after his spell in the sin bin. Bendino pushed backwards there by 3 hungry Bradford defenders, and it's Mitch Souter and Eben Skur leading the Bradford defensive charge there. They're now going to try over on the right hand side with Lachlan Lansky, the former Whitehaven man. He's wrapped up in centre field after a lateral run down the middle of the park. Here goes Flanagan now towards Ione. He's wrapped up there by Meadows, Blake, Wadey, and he's made a good couple of metres after contact there as the former Gold Coast and London man at Keighley. They're on the last tackle now, a couple of metres inside the Bradford half. Pickersgill back to Farrell. Farrell put under pressure by Michael. Young George Rayner takes that one from the clouds, and well, he's having certainly food for thought for Brian Noble and Lee Greenwood is the young homegrown fullback, as we see Okinbaugh now. This is one of those sets where Bradford just alleviate the burden on the forwards. It's looking like it's going to be Tyndall on tackle 2. No, they'll go to Meadows instead and find Waney, the new star signing in the back row. Ball's been lost on contact, and it is a 0 tackle for the Keighley Cougars. So a 4th error in this first half by the Bradford Bulls, who lead the Keighley Cougars by 10 points to 0. We've got 13 minutes to go to half time, and if you're just joining us, Bradford having 10 players on debut. George Rayner, Wonga Blake, James Meadows, Joe Keys, Emmanuel Wainick, Manny Giron and Michael, Josh Hunt, Mason Corbett and Alfie Lee. Keighley, 6 players on debut as Flanagan and England link up, which will see the former Featherstone and Bradford back row forward. Brad England play the ball 30 out from the Bradford line. Flanagan now across the face of the post to Farrell. Farrell can't get past Logan Bayliss and Ronan Michael, and his run is halted there, and it's a quick play the ball as Flanagan now goes into the Bradford 20 metre line, and we've just seen the first change of the afternoon as we see Josh Lynham, a Keighley ever present since 2013, come on the field here, but they're on the last tackle. The 15 out, it goes to Pickersgill, boot to ball. That has played Wonga Blake. I don't think it was played. It'll be a play the ball to the Bradford Bulls, and that is only the second play the ball Keighley have had in this first half inside that Bradford 20 metre line. That is the dominant factor of Bradford's defence. Referee not happy that the ball has been played in a correct position. Josh Lynham there just saying that it was played at. Very difficult to see from here. It was one of those last tackle options where it's kind of drilled behind the defensive line with a little bit of angle on, and I don't think Wonga Blake knew too much about where the trajectory of the ball was going, but Keighley do have Bradford penned inside their own 20 as Bradford start this fresh set of 6 here at Bardacard Odsal. But no sooner have we just said they've got them penned in. George Flanagan penalised for laying on in the tackle on Jaden Okinbaugh. That's now 5 penalties to 2 as Meadows fires the ball into touch on this main start side. Well, don't forget there's a couple of fixtures taking place on Boxing Day. Leeds against Wakefield, Batley against Dewsbury. That's where we're heading on Boxing Day for Batley against Dewsbury, the heavy woolen derby, as we see Nathan Mason and Franklin Pelly come on the field here for Brian Noble's side as Bradford come up with an error through Mitch Souter. who was brought down there by Flanagan and the scrum half Ben Dean, but he's tried to offload the ball after the tackle's completed, according to the match official. Bradford's 5th error of this first half, and it still remains Bradford Bulls 10, Keighley Cougars 0. Well, as we said, Eamon O'Carroll, he described his decision to leave Bradford for St Helens as one of the hardest of his career, saying that the opportunity to work in that full-time environment closer to home is the right move for him at that stage of his coaching journey. And I think after 12 months, after taking the helm as head coach, I think the view in rugby league circles is that he left Bradford knowing that they're in a significantly better position than when he took over. Bradford 10, Keighley 0 here. Keighley 5 away from halfway. One of their new signings also about to come on. It's young Oliver Whitford from the Huddersfield Giants as Farrell and Stead link up with each other before Josh Lynham is wrapped up there by Kelly and Michael. Flanagan goes out a dummy half, short looking ball from him towards Schofield, who's also just come on the field. So Jordan Schofield will get to his feet, he'll play the ball, they're on the last 40 out, they're going to run it on the power play. Chance here for Brad Holroyd, who puts boot to ball on the last, but there's far too much experience there. Emmanuel Wainey, he read that one and he was waiting for that one to just bobble up kindly for him on Bradford's 15-metre mark. So, fresh set of 6 for Bradford. Ockenbaugh tackle 2. Here goes Franklin Pelly, the 23-year-old. What a sensational signing he was halfway through the previous season, and he has carried Bradford up to halfway, and now here's Nathan Mason with a big point to prove in 2025. Franklin Pelly, 9 tries in 15 games for the Bulls last season, as we see Matty G twisting, turning, can't offload the ball. Bradford on the last tackle. They're 30 out from the Keighley line as Keys kicks towards Tafua and Tyndall, but it's a good take there from the Keighley winger on the far stand side, Billy Walkley. And now Bradford have got Keighley penned and trapped inside their own 10-metre line, but not for long. Emmanuel Wainey has just gone above the shoulder area into the chin of Billy Walkley, and Keighley, they awarded their 3rd penalty of the afternoon. Well, as we said, Bradford have those 10 players who will make their debut, 9 new faces. Keighley, they've got 6 players out there on the field this afternoon who will remember this special occasion. Here goes Brad England now. He'll be brought down just shy of halfway on tackle number 2. In there at dummy half is one of those new signings for the Keighley Cougars. It is Oliver Whitford, who had a bit of an interest from a number of League One and Championship clubs, but decided the opportunity to play under Jake Webster at Cougar Park was the deal for him. Farrell thought about the pass there towards Lynham, but before he could pass the ball, he's just been absolutely wrapped up by Tyra Knott, who's just come on the field for the Bradford Bulls, and they're on tackle 4 here, Keighley, trailing by 10 points to 0. In fact, it's the last tackle. Kevin Moore with a very late right arm held up, signalling that's the last as the crossfield kick comes in from Farrell, straight into the chest of Tafua, and George Tafua, he is brought down on his own 10-metre line. Here goes Liam Tyndall, tackle 2. Offloads the ball behind as Liam Tyndall. Good play from Tyndall, finds Tafua. That's now tackle 2, and Bradford have made 15 metres forward. They're 20 shy of halfway here, as we now see Tyra Knott in there at dummy half, replacing Mitch Suter. He finds Ockenbaugh on tackle 3. As Bradford now up to halfway here, closing moments of this first half. We've got 7.5 to go as Meadows kicks early on tackle number 4. Pickersgill well placed, but no sooner has Brandon Pickersgill slid across the Odsal mud on the knees, he's wrapped up by Blake and Wainey, and now Keighley on tackle 2, the 10 metres out from their own try line. So 7.5 to go to half time here. Bradford 10, Keighley 0. Some Sunday afternoon pre-season festive fun in the Odsal mud and sludge as Junior Sound now finds Walkley. And Walkley is wrapped up just shy of the 20, but wins a penalty. There's eye contact here, according to the officials. So, as always is the case, I think these are the games where you do iron out your tackling technique, and the Gremlins, 5 penalties to 4 now, back-to-back penalties for the Cougars, as we see Ben Dean, who signed that 2-year deal with Keighley till the end of 26, advanced Keighley just shy of halfway. It is West Yorkshire Radio syndicated coverage on Bulls TV. Bradford scoring both tries from Wonga Blake and Ebbett Skirt, while Elliot Cousins, a former Bradford Academy man, was in the sin bin for late contact in the tackle. What can Keighley do here? They're 10 inside the Bradford half. So play the ball here from Josh Lynham, now to Farrell. But Wonga Blake alert alongside Nathan Mason there. And Keighley's run is halted, 25 out. They're going to move it back in centre field here. Another big, strong carry from Jordan Schofield, who's just come on the field. And they're 20 out in front of the post as it now goes towards Cousins. Cousins to Dean. Dean kicks towards Rayner, and Rayner, he just had a little bit of daylight there, did George Rayner. Didn't fancy going on the outside of Bill Walkley, come back on the inside, and you could see what Keighley were trying to do there, an early kick on tackle 4, but that was great awareness from the young Bradford fullback George Rayner. We now see Bradford 10 shy of halfway here as Tyrone Ott gives the ball to Nathan Mason, and Nathan Mason, the former Huddersfield League London man, has made 15 metres as Tyrone Ott now gives the ball. Elliot Paposhi also out there on the field at the end of this first half. He'll get to his feet, he'll play the ball. They're on the last of the Bulls, they're running it on the power play. Winning to Hockenball. Keighley have lost the ball. Referee and touch judge have a decision to make. It's a penalty to the Bradford Bulls because Keighley were in an offside position according to the official. Oh no, Kevin Moore's going to say there was someone taken out off the ball. Well, I thought the penalty was originally for a Keighley player had touched it, and the player who picked it up was in the offside position, but he's going to say that the reason why the ball came loose was another late hit there on Wonga Blake. He's going to be a marksman in the championship as Franklin Pelly taps the ball. He's heading towards the post. Can he do it all himself? No, he can't. And Bradford now looking for the third try, although the ball's been intercepted by Ryder, and Ryder's away, but he hasn't got the pace or toe. He'll give the ball to Lansky, and Keighley have lost the ball, 10 shy of halfway. Oh my word, what a cruel, cruel blow there for the Keighley Cougars. Just when you thought they were open and up and away, the intercept from Ryder, the pass to Lachlan Lansky, and then if Brad Holroyd takes that one in, he goes 60 metres, it's goodbye. We're firing up the first goodbye of 2025. Unfortunately, he's come up with the error there under no real pressure. Keighley's 7th error of this first half, and it remains Bradford 10, Keighley 0. 4 to go in this first half here at Barnacard Hudsall. It is almost biblical out there. You almost expect Noah's Ark to just materialise on the horizon and we're all going to jump on it and keep warm. Here we go then. 40 out from the Keighley line, a fresh set for the Bradford Bulls. Up to Keys, to Fua. Tyndall on the outside, wrapped up there by 3 red-shirted Keighley defenders. Well, I hope Brad Holroyd doesn't allow that to play on his mind or conscience too much. It happens to the best of us. Here goes Nathan Mason. He's wrapped up 20 out from the Keighley line. I was doing the shopping the other day and dropped a tray of eggs. Here we go with Meadows now to Emmanuel Waney. Waney's wrapped up 8 out. Set restart, second of the game. Emmanuel Waney held down in the tackle. Bradford looking for try number 3. Rayner though wrapped up by Farrell. He read that one like an award-winning novel, and now we're going back out a dummy half from Hockenball to Meadows, Meadows to Waney, and Waney goes on a bit of an angled run, but he is just going to run into 3 Keighley defenders. And one of those is Will McCardle, the new signing from Wakefield Trinity, who's getting his first taste of Keighley action as Keys now across the face of the post to Meadows. Ball's being lost by G. First knock on against the Bulls here. 6th error for Brian Noble's side in this first half, and the score remains Bradford Bulls 10, Keighley Cougars 0. Well, as we said, it was a very, very quick process. Bradford were without a head coach for just 11 days, but it was the return of Brian Noble and the return of Noble Mania, and did that really come as a shock? My own personal thoughts on the Brian Noble appointment are that it's an extremely exciting and ambitious appointment. You know, the main worry, certainly after Eamon O'Carroll left for St Helens, was that the culture at the club, which Eamon O'Carroll had helped change, remains. So certainly a very, very quick tack by the Bradford board, and a very quick decision made at the end of October to appoint Brian Noble and let Lee Greenwood, of course, continue the hard work that had been built by both Brian Lee and Eamon with a full pre-season together. That will be a huge bonus and a huge step up for the Bradford club moving forward. They lead Keighley here 10 points to 0. Wonga Blake a try-on debut alongside Eben Skur. We've got 20 seconds left of this first half, and it's 10 points to 0. And we're going to see Keighley display the ball here with Cousins out of dummy half from Whitford. He will give it to Schofield. Schofield's going to be brought down on his back, just shy of halfway, as that half-time hooter sounds. And it is Joe Keys who puts boot to ball, and he will start the second half here. So Keighley going from left to right. They will play towards the south back. Bradford towards the open terracing here. And it will be Keighley with first use of the ball here as the floodlights, almost like the lighthouse at Flamborough, just start to light up and illuminate Barricade also. Bradford 10, Keighley 0. What's the second half got in store? It's the first outing in 2025 in this capital of culture, Joe Phillips Memorial clash, as we see Whitford out of dummy half. Half chance there for Keighley, but that was good defence there from Nathan Mason and Emmanuel Wernick. They're on the last tackle on halfway as Farrell kicks down. And a chance here now for young George Rayner, as referee Kevin Moore has just took a tumble. So he's going to stop the clock here, Kevin Moore. Well, that's given the Bull supporters a Christmas present in the main stand. He looks okay, does Kevin Moore. He's just he's just slipped in the mud here, so he's got to hold play while he gets back up. It looks like he's okay. So yeah, whistle to lips, time back on. Liam Tyndall tackled too. Big collision there, Liam Tyndall. And he's made 15 metres there as the former Hull FC man. Currently without a club. Is this performance this afternoon the performance that sees Brian offer the contract and the pen to Tyndall? Pele, 20 metres down the middle, up to halfway. Mason tackle free. 10 inside the Keighley half. It's Bradford 10, Keighley 0. Ott goes out of dummy half. 10 metres made there. The 20 out now on the last tackle. Ball goes short side to Meadows. Excuse the kick, but they've come up with the ball here, the Bulls, after Keighley have knocked it on. 10 out from their own line, so Bradford back in possession here. Ball's going to go across the face of the post with Keys. Presents it to Pele. Pele charging towards the line. Cousins and England and Pickersgill bring down the Kiwi. 2 out. Bradford looking to open the scoring early in this second half. Keys to Papoche, and Papoche denied 2 metres out there. Oh, out of dummy half. Twisting, turning, Nathan Mason is at the side of the post, he's held up. Bradford told to go back to the 10. And 10 points is the difference. Those tries from Blake and Skur in the first half. Tackle 4, 1 left to go here for Brian Noble's Bulls as they wrapped up there. Ronan Michael, I believe, just to the right hand side of the post. They're 5 metres out here, the Bulls. Oh, out of dummy half, misses out Pele, finds Keys. Keys takes the line on and very nearly breaches that Keighley line, but it is the last tackle here. Oh, out of dummy half, tries to pinch one himself. He's over the line, Tyra Knott, but he's going to be held up, is the call from the match officials. Good scrambling defence from Brad England, Elliot Cousins, also Bill Walkley involved in that one. And it remains Bradford Bulls 10, Keighley Cougars 0 here at Bradford Odsal, and we have had 3.5 minutes or so gone in this second half, albeit the clock now will be stopped because Keighley have a couple of players down in back play receiving some medical attention. But certainly in the first 40 minutes, no player injuries to the naked eye. Everyone come through unscathed, and that will please both Brian Noble and Jake Webster. So while we have a break in play, Keighley, if you're joining us and you missed the first half, 10 points to 0. Keighley have 6 players on debut. Isaac Farrell, who's joined from the Sheffield Eagles, Elliot Cousins from West Bowling, Leo Aliou from the Leeds Rhinos, Ryan Hogg from the Island Wolfhounds, Oliver Whitford from the Huddersfield Giants, and Will McArdle from Wakefield Trinity. Bradford have 10 players on debut, a couple of homegrown debuts to George Rayner, who's out there at fullback, not put a foot wrong all afternoon. We'll get Brian Noble's thoughts on his performance at full time. Alfie Lee get to come on the field, as is Josh Hunt, but Bradford do give debuts to Wonga Blake, who played in the first half, James Meadows, Joe Keys, a new look half-back partnership for the Bulls in 25, Emmanuel Wayne, Manny G, Ronan Michael, and Mason Corbett yet to come on. He's the young 18-year-old who signed from the Leeds Rhinos. He can play a little bit of 9 and in the halves. So a couple of interchanges made here by Jake Webster. Not quite sure if it's a concussion from Elliot Cousins, putting his body on the line to deny Tyron Ott, but we are going to see Dan Parker return, and we're also going to see Leo Aliou, who will have a little bit of a spotlight on him after he signed for Keighley Cougars from the Leeds Rhinos. So Bradford 10, Keighley 0, play back underway here with Paposhit and Mason in defence. Bill Walkley wrapped up there by Pele and Wayne. And Keighley just outside their own 20-metre line now as we see Leo Aliou, big forward, big promise for him in 2025. We're going to see Whitford down out of dummy half. He's going to make 10 metres, just shy of halfway. In a centre field position here, RJ Webster's Keighley Cougars. 4 from the Bradford men, have we said, in this side this afternoon, as Dan Parker goes straight into Paposhit and Wayne. And they're all halfway on the last tackle here, the Cougars. So Farrell boots the ball, targets young George Rayner, but he's taken that one and he wants a little bit more, does young George Rayner. Draws a warm round of applause from the Odsal faithful here at Bradford Odsal this afternoon as he takes tackle 1, kickball tackle 2, 15 shy of halfway, Tyron on now to Tyndall, Tyndall's up and over halfway, tackle 3. Bradford just up in the tempo, you feel, up in the intensity, as we see Meadows look behind, gives it to loose forward Ronan Michael, who's gone through a mountain of work in this game thus far. They're on tackle 4, 1 left, 30 out from the Keighley line as Meadows finds Mason, and they'll breach the 20. They're on the last tackle. Gill's calling for a crossfield kick. They're going to go short side with Meadows. They're going to try and run it in with Tafua. Tafua towards the line on the power play, wrapped up 5 out. It remains Bradford Bulls 10, Keighley Cougars. No score here at a very, very dark, gloomy, windswept Odsal Stadium. I think all 50 players who are going to partake in some part this afternoon as we head into the early evening certainly deserve massive plaudits for the spectacle that they are pouring on out there, as we now see Whitford go straight out of dummy half. Emmanuel Wayne couldn't be involved in that tackle because he wasn't square according to the officials, and they're 25 shy of halfway here as Dan Parker will front up and he'll offload the ball behind to Whitford, and he'll make a few metres forward, just shy of halfway here as Mason comes in, and good defence from Bradford, very alert despite that offload out the tackle. It remains Bradford 10, Keighley 0. West Yorkshire Radio syndicated coverage on Bulls TV as Ben Dean kicks into space early on tackle 4. Rayner takes it, hop, skips, jumps from his own 10. He's immediately met there by Adam Ryder and Lachlan Landscape for a couple of metres gain. Keys in at dummy half, and here goes Kieran Gill, Bradford's leading try scorer of the past 3 seasons. He knows he will have a challenge to keep that record going in 25 with Bradford strike, and here's some of Bradford strike as George Tafua is away on the far stand side. Bradford queuing up on the inside, and Bradford are going over here, and it's another one of the new signings. It's Emmanuel Wayne, and just like that the Bulls have delivered a Christmas present to their supporters. It was the cut-out ball to Tafua. Tafua skipped past Bill Walkley. He drew in Pickersgill, inside support, and it's Emmanuel Nwene, the PNG international, a close season signing from the London Broncos. And that was a real eye-catching score. Emmanuel Nwene there. Bradford have just gone 70 metres in the blink of an eye. We're in the 48th minute here at Barnacard, so it's not been pretty, it's quite gritty out there, but that will certainly please the Bulls faithful here in this big crowd this afternoon. And Joe Keys will potentially get an easy 2 points here, because the kick predictor turned on once again. It's saying 100% despite the wind, but it's just ever so slightly a smidge to the right hand side of the upright. And when you think about Joe Keys, of course, came at the back end of that disappointing Rowan Smith era for Bradford in 2016, did help Bradford to lift, I can't remember the trophy, it was some shield. Well, that shows you probably how insignificant it was. But it is Joe Keys, the kick predictor says 100%. This to take Bradford out into a 16-point lead here at Barnacard also. Oh, we've put the Tom Fox moment on Joe Keys. In fact, it's not Joe Keys, I beg your pardon, it's James Meadows who's had the conversion attempt there. So it was James Meadows, not Joe Keys. So there we go. It remains Bradford 14, Keighley 0. Meadows attempting his first conversion attempt. So that one just going to the right hand side of that near right upright. We'll watch that one back again and see if he has a little bit of a slip. Just watching it back on the replay, well, if anything, it looks like the ball's just moved off the tee as he was running up to kick it, so I'm sure he can have a little bit of forgiveness there, but still a poor miss. So, West Yorkshire Radio, Bulls TV, Bradford 14, Keighley 0. As Franklin Pellet from his own try line goes past the 10, up to the 20, and Bradford back in possession on the restart after their first try in this second half. Pellet gets to his feet, plays the ball, Keys now to Michael, and Ronan Michael's wrapped up, and they're 25 shy of halfway on tackle 2 on this restart. Tyron up now to Paposha, the former St Helens youngster. Tackle 3, 10 shy of halfway. They're on their own 40 metre line, the Bulls. It's a very scrappy, sloppy pedestrian play the ball. Nathan Mason, just shy of halfway, tackle 4. One left after the first points of this second half from the Bulls. As Tyron Ott goes out a dummy half and very nearly busts and breaks a tackle. He's 30 out now, and they're on the last tackle, Bradford, as they run it on the power play again. Keys to Meadows. Meadows targets the winger, Bill Walkley, but he's done well under pressure there from that chasing pack of Ockenbaugh and Tafua and Tyron Ott himself. So Bradford 14, Keighley 0. Keighley back in possession, 15 out from their own try line. Just ever so slightly starting to struggle to make out some of the players because the backs of the shirts absolutely caked in mud. But that is Whitford in there at dummy half, and he scoops and passes it on the inside to Leo Aliou, and Aliou's made 15 metres. 15 valuable metres here for Keighley, and they're now inside the Bradford half as Bradford have to backtrack a little. They're on the 5th and last tackle, the Cougars. 30 out from the Bradford line, looking to get their first points of the afternoon as we see Ben Dean put boot to ball. Targets Rayner. Rayner safe as houses under the high ball, despite the physical presence there of Adam Ryder and Brad England, who immediately wrapped him up and flattened him when his feet had hit terra firma. Bradford back in possession, 20 out from their own try line. Tyron Ott probing out a dummy half. Had Kieran Gill on the inside, but decides to take the tackle on tackle 2. The 10 shy of halfway here. Here goes Kieran Gill, takes the short ball on the inside to Keys, and he's going to be wrapped up there by one of his former teammates and good friends, Brad England. They're on the halfway here, the Bulls. 12 minutes gone in the second half, 14 now. There's a loop ball over on the far stand side. Sees Tafua wrestled and wrapped up, and George Tafua just has to put the handbrake on and stop himself from going into touch. Bradford on the last tackle, on halfway. Meadows, boot to ball, bounce of the ball will be kind for Bill Walkley. He will now turn defence into attack. So, what have the Bulls and the Cougars got left in this festive pre-season fixture? We're just seeing George Flanagan come on the field and interchange with Oliver Whitford. So George Flanagan, 38 years of age, Peter Pan of rugby league, some say in these parts. He will look to try and spark a little bit of a Keighley revival here. They've not had any goal line pressure on the Bradford line, so very, very difficult to give an accurate assessment of the Keighley attack, but they are now 25 out from the Bradford line on the last tackle. England will play it right of centre field. It goes to Farrell, crossfield kick. Keighley have lost the ball on that last tackle, and that is going to be another error from the Cougars. Bradford recover possession, and they are 12 or so metres out in front of their own post, and it's the zero tackle after the error there from one of the Keighley players. Not quite sure if it was Brad Holroyd or not, but they have come up with the error, and now there's a chance for the Bulls to give a little bit of energy to some of those forwards and see if they can, against difficult conditions, difficult opponents, see if they can do the hard yards forward. So Paposhi takes the tackle, now Keys to Skur. Skur drives forward. Good footwork there from Evan Skur. He's just shy of halfway as Tyrone Holt meets England. Body check by England. Good defence there from the former Bradford man. They're on the last tackle, Bradford. Keys will just drill one along the floor into the in-goal area. Almost like he was aiming for the right hand upright there, and he chases his own kick and comes up with a good kick chase because Keys' kick, Keys' chase, Keighley back in possession, but the 5 out from their own try line, and now Kieran Gill and Liam Tyndall are stopping a run from Adam Ryder. They're going to play the ball, the Keighley Cougars, 15 out from their own try line. Flanagan's in there at dummy half. There's 3 Bradford players there in defence. One of those was Evan Skur and Nathan Mason. Penalty to Keighley, a loud shrill blast from referee Kevin Moore there. I think he's going to say that that was holding down, not clearing the rock. So, first penalty of this second half, I do believe. And it's Keighley's 5th of the afternoon. Well, it almost feels like a night game here because it is darkness here in Odsal. We've had 15 minutes gone of this second half. It's Bradford 14, Keighley 0. Potentially a competitive meeting between these two clubs in the Challenge Cup and the 1895 Cup. Keighley, of course, receiving a bye in the first round, so they can play their game against the York Knights on the 2nd of February at Cooper Park. Here goes Ben Dean now to Farrell. Keighley inside Bradford's 20. Keys, Gill, tackling tenaciously there. Paposhi also in there as the 3rd man. Quick play of the ball, out of dummy half from Ryder to Dean. It goes to Leo Aliou, and the former Leeds man is attracting a lot of attention. And probably for the first time in this game this afternoon, Keighley now with tackles to go on the Bradford line. But no sooner have we said that, you can blame the commentator's curse, because Keighley have come up with yet another error, their 8th of the afternoon, and the ball has been spilled and knocked on, and Bradford were looking for a very, very quick, fast restart on the 20, but the match officials not happy. There were still Bradford players outside of the 20, so it has to be a controlled restart. So Bradford on that 0 tackle on their own 30, and here goes George Tafua, another punishing run and drive and carry by the former Manly Sea Eagle man, and he's 5 shy of halfway, tackle number 1. Here goes Emmanuel Wayne, he puts the fending on Flanagan. Flanagan though probably just gets the better of Wayne there, helped there by Aliou. Don't forget there's no Jordan Lilly, Tom Holmes, Guy Armitage for Bradford this afternoon. They're recovering from injuries, but they are in full training. Michael Lawrence, James Donaldson not risked, not played, and Kevin Appo and Zach Fulton, both due back in the country on the 3rd of January there in Papua New Guinea and Australia, as Joe Keys' pass has been knocked on by the Keighley Cougars. Keys run a lovely diagonal dart, drew in Ben Dean and the Keighley centre, and it was very, very nearly an opportunity knocks for Keighley, because it was the former rugby union man, it was Junior New, the former Harrogate Rugby Union centre, 30 years of age, appeared in a handful of games for Keighley last season. He had a huge opportunity there to take that cleanly, and it was goodbye, and he was underneath the Bradford post, but as it is, he just couldn't take it in cleanly. So a bit of excitement from Bradford, showing that attacking enterprise that should stand them in good stead in 25 in the Championship. Keys feeds the scrum, 25 out. Meadows very nearly breaks clear, but good defence there from Keighley, who do concede a set restart from holding down in the tackle, but it's very early in the tackle count, so Bradford don't really see a benefit, and they won't see a benefit now after Emmanuel Wainett has coughed the ball up, 5 out from the Bradford try line. So it is certainly one of those games as we head towards the hour mark here at Bardacard Odsal. There was a little bit of coming together from the players, but it's just handbags at dawn, and it will be scrum, head and feed to the Keighley Cougars. Very, very difficult to be talking about man of the match in these games, so we'll save that for the competitive games on West Yorkshire Radio this season. But it was Kevin Appo who picked up the most man of the match votes last season. Thoroughly deserved the Prince of PNG. Well, Bradford have 2 Prince of PNGs with Emmanuel Wainett, who certainly has lit up the second half with that try and support after George Tafua made a break on the main stand side, as Keighley with Flanagan moves the ball behind them, but it's gone backwards, say the officials. Ryder picks it up, gives it to Aliou, and Leo Aliou's finally wrapped up there, although the referee's seen something in back play, and I think this is going to be another penalty now to Keighley. Someone has gone down in back play. It is Jordan Schofield, and referee Kevin Moore will say penalty to the Keighley Cougars for a late tackle on Jordan Schofield. So Emmanuel Wainett leaves the field, and that looks like young Harry Gray, who's just come on for the PNG International. So if you are listening to us, you are joining us this afternoon, it is Bardacard Odsal, it's West Yorkshire Radio, syndicated coverage as always with Bulls TV, and it is Bradford 14, Keighley 0, and we have just hit slap bang on the hour mark here. So Harry Gray comes on for Emmanuel Wainett, and that's Leo Aliou on tackle number 1. Flanagan now to Farrell. Big physical contacts there on Josh Lynham. Tackle 2, the 30 out. Gray in defence alongside Meadows. Back down the middle channel, the Cougars will come. They're on tackle 3 and the 20 out centre field. They're down by 14 points. Scoreboard immaterial to Noble and Webster, but the supporters certainly want the bragging rights ahead of the Christmas period. So 1 left after this for the Cougars. The 15 out, Flanagan finds Parker to Farrell. The oohs and ahs here as George Tafua goes straight there into the torso and chest of Oliver Whitford, who's back out there on the field. He'll get to his feet, he'll play the ball. Flanagan tries to pinch one out of dummy half. He'll be denied though. Listen to the cheers, that's probably the loudest cheer of the afternoon, as George Flanagan, the former Bradford man, is held up according to the officials. So he will have to go back to the 10, and the pressure cooker continues to burn and simmer. It's going to be Schofield. He's wrapped up. There must have been a set restart because the tackle count is still continuing, and there's a chance here for Lynham to Lansky, and Lachlan Lansky is wrapped up. This will now be the 5th and last here. Lansky will play the ball. Flanagan tries to pinch another one out of dummy half. He's saying he's got it down. Referee Kevin Moore says he's held up again. Well, there's a little bit of pantomime-esqueness to what we're watching here, and no love lost. A great servant of the sport, George Flanagan, certainly in those seasons with the Bradford Bulls, and he's got a big job at Keighley in 2025 with that experience and that leadership, what Jake Webster will be calling upon. But Bradford and Brian Noble will be pleased now that they've had a little bit of a test of the goal line. He'll be pleased that they have repelled those 2 consecutive Keighley attacks, and now Bradford are going on an attack of their own here as they win a set restart because Nathan Mason was being held in the tackle, so the tackle count restarts and resets with Tyron up 5 inside the Keighley half. And here goes Nathan Mason again, another big strong carry. He's wrapped up 25 out on tackle number 2. Bradford looking to add a 4th try to proceedings here. And Dan Parker's gone down. Oh, this one looks a bad one from Dan Parker. He is really in a lot of pain and agony. So a bit of concern coming up here, you feel, for Jake Webster and the Keighley Cougars. Set restarts incidentally now. Bradford awarded 3. Keighley have had 2. Penalty count 7-5 in favour of the Bulls, but Dan Parker, a Keighley Cougar favourite, he is down, and this, as Jake Webster watches on the touchline, he'll be hoping, amongst hope, that this one is not a serious one. Well, we've just seen Jacob Bateman come on for the Bradford Bulls. He made his championship debut in round 9 last year when he come on for the last 10 minutes against Sheffield Eagles in Bradford's 28-10 victory. A very, very bright future, Jacob Bateman. Certainly Bradford will be looking to integrate him, and he has an opportunity now in the last 18 minutes with the clock still stopped with Dan Parker down. Looks like he might be okay. Just holding the arm. Looking a little bit gingy and groggery, having the HIA assessment. Looks like he might be okay to continue here. Yeah, he's going to give the thumbs up, so that's a huge bonus and a huge boost for Jake Webster there. No one really wants to be losing any players this early in pre-season. It is going to be time back on here. Bradford 14, Keighley 0. As Wonga Blake, I do believe, has come back out there on the field, and young Mason Corbett about to come on. The young 18-year-old signing from the Leeds Rhinos. Here we go though, Bradford deep into Keighley Cougar territory. They're 5 metres out now, playing the ball underneath the Keighley post. It's going to be Tyron up in there at dummy half. Along the line it's going to go from Keys to Meadows. It is Wonga Blake back out there. He's wrapped up though by Isaac Farrell and Josh Lynham in a 2-man tackle. Goes back towards Meadows. Here goes Bateman, who's running the ball in. And Bradford, a couple of tackles left on this set after receiving the set restart. Meadows now, cut out ball, Bradford in. That will be try number 4, and it's Elliot Paposhi, Bradford's Young Player of the Year for 24. He starts season 25 with a real eye-catching performance in the forwards. Bradford do score a 4th try. They do at that Keighley Cougar ill-disciplined pair. And it is Elliot Paposhi who has backed up that try from Emmanuel Wayne. And that was just quick, fast hands from the Bulls out of the ruck. We're in the 63rd minute here at Barnacard Hudsall. So Blake, Skirt, Wayne and Paposhi. And it is going to be Meadows once again to attempt this conversion attempt. It's 15 metres to the left-hand side of the post. Well, certainly when you speak to Jay Meadows, he's expressed a real strong admiration for the culture and the environment that he has experienced since joining Bradford. Leaving London, a tough decision to make, but he feels joining Bradford is the right move for him at this stage of his career. So the kick predictor, it's saying 71%, but that one goes between the posts over the black dot. It's Bradford Bulls 20, Keighley Cougars 0 here at Barnacard Hudsall. And And that is going to be James Meadows' final act, because he will leave the field and on will come Alfie Leake and Jamie Gill. So Meadows, 1 from 2, same as Keys. 10 points in the first half, 10 points in the second half for the Bradford Bulls. It is West Yorkshire Radio Bulls TV as we see Keighley's new standoff half signing Isaac Farrell kick the ball out on the full, not what Jake Webster would have wanted. And I'm sure as Bradford awarded their 8th penalty of the afternoon, Isaac Farrell won't be the first player or the last this coming season that kicks the ball out on the full. So Sam Ackroyd, who had that loan spell at Whitehaven in the last few weeks of the 24 season, has failed to find touch against the wings. So the Keighley fans enjoying that one, as we said. Sam Ackroyd just holding his hand up there to his teammates. Very, very brave to go for distance over accuracy and power against the wings. But it will give the Bulls a chance to test their defence, their new look defence again. And I guess the scary thought is that when you looked at that Bradford lineup at the start of the afternoon, you know, you're missing Jordan Lilly, Tom Holmes, Guy Armitage, Michael Lawrence, James Donaldson, Kevin Apples, Zach Fulton. That's 8 players who potentially are in that starting 17. Bradford's strength in depth, very, very clear for all to see. Keighley on that last tackle just inside the Bradford half. Flanagan will give the ball to Dean. Dean, crossfield kick. That one will just bounce ahead of the winger, Brad Holroyd, the former Lee Rochdale man. Bunga Blake, far too much experience, knew that one was just going to bounce into touch, and that will be a play the ball to the Bradford Bulls. So it's a chance to look at some of Bradford's future players now. Sam Ackroyd out there on the field, Josh Hunt, so too Mason Corbett, Jamie Gill, Alfie Leake. Be interesting to see what happens in the final 15 minutes or so. It's an opportunity for Keighley to try and get back in this game, but some of these young homegrown players will be wanting to stake a claim and show Brian Noble they're ready to make the step up. Mason Corbett out of dummy half now to Tyrone Ott. Ott finds Gill. Jamie Gill will carry the ball forward. He's 30 out from that Keighley try line, and Jamie Gill wins another set restart. And here come Bradford attacking and darting down the middle of the park, and they're now 10 metres out. And it's going to be Harry Gray who was going to go in there and act in half after that run, but the ball has been lost on contact with the ground, so an error against the Bulls and a chance perhaps for Keighley to strike. Although they will advance further up the field because the referee will penalise the Bulls. He will say Alfie Leake, Harry Gray were just holding down in the tackle. So 8 penalties to 6. And a chance for Farrell to find touch, which he does. So Bradford backed up on their own 30. Keighley will tap the ball with Flanagan, who's no stranger to Hudsall. As we said earlier, the 38-year-old joined Bradford from Hunslet in 2018, and it was only midway through last season he left for pastures new at Keighley. Never really got that final Bradford game at Hudsall, but he'll certainly enjoy this one. And in the closing minutes of this game, George will be trying his damnedest to get the Cougars on the board. 20 points to 0 they trail. Whitford plays the ball, 15 in from touch. Flanagan now to England. England's caught high. It's back-to-back penalties. That was Jamie Gill. Just went above the shoulder blade there. 8 penalties to 7. Right in front of the post here. And George Flanagan, realising the wind has been a problem all afternoon, decides to just tap the ball and go left to Leo Aliou. One of those 6 new signings for the Cougars in 2025. He'll get to his feet, he'll play the ball. Schofield draws in the defence, finds Dean. Dean to Lachlan Lansky, and the 4 try man in 24's wrapped up 5 away from the Keighley try line. Flanagan in there at dummy half to Dean. Dean takes the line on, strides forward, 6'2". It's quite tall, is Ben Dean. And it's another quick play of the ball as Flanagan finds England, and England crashes over, and he's got the ball down. Has he, Brad England? No, he's not. Who is that? It's Sam Aykroyd. I think it's Sam Aykroyd who's put his body on the line there, and Brad England has spilt the ball over the line. Well, it was certainly Sam Aykroyd and someone else. As we said, the shirt numbers covered and soaked in mud, and I'm sure when people do watch this game back, you'll see that quite a few of them don't have any numbers at all, as we see Mason Corbett find Gray. Gray's going to be wrapped up on halfway. Bradford 20, Keighley 0. Certainly a very, very interesting and lively pre-season outing, as there's a chance here for the Bulls as they've lost the ball behind them, but it's picked up by Aykroyd, and the young Bradford half has recovered possession there, just as we saw Mason Corbett with the line break. Alfie Leake has a tilt towards the Keighley try line. Corbett goes in there and acting half. They're going to move it over on that right-hand side, and they're queuing up here with Wonga Blake on that right-hand edge, and Blake beats one, beats two, steps back in, somehow keeps the ball going. Magic stuff here from the Bulls as they head towards the post with Alfie Leake. Can he twist and turn and get the ball down? He's got it down, I think, as Alfie Leake. That is a sensational try from the young, homegrown Bradford youngster. He's got no number. We think it's Alfie Leake. Wonga Blake with the offload along the line to Corbett, to Aykroyd, and the Bradford youngster is over at the left-hand side of the post. Alfie Leake. Alfie Leake. Well, I'll tell you what, I always do this every year. I have a very early optician's appointment in January, and when they say, Mr. Gledall, how's your eyesight? I'll just roll that clip. In the dark, the dusk, the gloom of Odsal, players covered in mud, players with no numbers. It was just the distinguishing feature of those blonde hair locks. But yes, Bradford 24, Keighley 0. That for mine is the play of the afternoon. We've just mentioned those young homegrown players coming on the field. Yet there is a little bit of experience with Wonga Blake back out there over on the right, but by and large, if the average age was 26 years and 9 months at kick-off, it certainly dropped way down to around 22, 23. And it will be young Sam Aykroyd who will attempt the conversion attempt. Bradford 24, Keighley 0. 7 minutes to go here at Barnacar also, and a chance here for Aykroyd to get on the scoreboard. Kick predictor turned on again. It's saying 88%. 5 metres to the right of the post, and young Sam Aykroyd converts that one. Bradford Bulls 26, Keighley Cougars 0. 3 tries in the second half from Wadey, Paposhi and Leake. It's looking like it's going to be a happy Christmas for Brian Noble, Lee Greenwood and the Bradford fans. So West Yorkshire Radio syndicated coverage with Bulls TV. The ball has just blown off the kicking tee. We're in the final 10 minutes here of this festive pre-season fixture, which has been billed as the Bradford City of Culture 2025 game and the Joe Phillips Memorial Trophy. Well, at the 17th time of being contested, this will be Bradford's 10th victory, and 10th time they've lifted the Joe Phillips Memorial. So on the restart here, Mason Corbett straight out of dummy half, 15 shy of halfway, tackle free gone. Alfie Leake once again making huge metres forward. He's made 20 metres or so there, Alfie Leake, because they're 8 metres or so inside the Keighley half. Corbett goes back in there at dummy half. Tyron Ott still out there on the field, kicks early, straight down the throat though, Bill Walkley, and Bill Walkley will twist turn. He will meet the red, amber and black, white shirted welcoming committee, 15 out from his own try line. Well, certainly I think Jake Webster, when he reviews the tape, he'll be pleased with Keighley's defensive attributes. Very, very difficult, because there has been an air of Bradford's last home game, the playoff win over Featherstone, with their defensive performance. They've simply not allowed Keighley to play, and on the 3 or 4 occasions where a bit of ill discipline has creeped in and has allowed an opportunity for possession and territory, Bradford have firmly slammed shut that door on the Keighley Cougars. Bradford 26, Keighley 0 here at Bardacard on some Boxing Day. We're at Mount Pleasant, backlit against Dewsbury. Isn't it great that rugby league's back? Where would we be without you? Last tackle, ball comes up from Dean. Bradford have just allowed it to bounce. Liam Tyndall passes back on the inside, and Bradford now a little bit of work to do for their young side, because they're 5 metres out and we've got 5 minutes exactly remaining on the clock here at Odsal this afternoon. 2 tries in the first half, 3 in the second. I think that try to Alfie Leake just gets ahead of that Emmanuel Warney effort. It was the support play, the fact that there were so many young homegrown players touching the ball, as Bradford now find themselves up to halfway here. A little bit of wrestling there as Jordan Schofield tries to go for the ball, but referee says held, says play it. Paposhi wrapped up there by Lansky and Junior New. And there'll be one left after this for the Bulls. Ackroyd finds Jamie Gill. Look at Jamie Gill go. Jamie Gill, 10, 5 metres out. They're on the last tackle here, the Bulls. Keighley is stretched over on the far stand side. They're going to go short side and run it in, and Keighley's wall of defiance manages to hold firm there as Paposhi was trying to crash over on the power play. I think Brian and Lee might have liked the ball to go the other way, but Bradford was certainly playing what they saw. As we see Keighley now 5 out from their own try line. George Flanagan trying to organise the Keighley attack here, as we see the ball go out of dummy half from Flanagan to Walkley. Walkley will play the ball 10 out from his own try line on tackle 3. Brad England runs it in, but he's wrapped up there in a bit of a bruising 2-man tackle there. Harry Gray, Alfie Leake leading that defensive charge, and now here goes Mason Corbett, who's involved in that defensive play, bringing down Jordan Schofield. Keighley on the last will put boot to ball, and I think they might have just got a 40-20 here, Keighley. They have got a 40-20. So Keighley's final act of this game will be a full set, a repeat set of 6 on the Bradford line. Look at George Flanagan go. He's rolling back the clock here, and the referee's going to say you can't tap it there. So he passes it to Josh Lynham, and it'll be Lynham who will tap the ball. We've got 3 minutes left on the clock here, and Keighley have knocked the ball on. There's no one there, and George Flanagan picks the ball up and this slams it down into the turf. It has been an unwelcoming, unhappy return for George back at his old stomping ground. And Bradford look like they will start the pre-season with a very, very strong defensive display. Keighley, mark my words, they'll be up there challenging for promotion in League One this coming season. The Super 8s are back in 2025. We'll certainly digest this game probably tomorrow or Tuesday on Inside the Game, and we'll also focus a little bit on some good news on the horizon for the London Broncos. But here at Bardacard Odsal, Bradford 26, Keighley 0, just playing down time here. 10 points to 0 in the first half. Bradford not really in that kind of ruthless mood, albeit they did score the Paposhi and Leake tries pretty close together. Keighley have shown a lot of defensive resolve themselves in restricting Bradford to just those tries, but there might be one last play here as it goes to Wonga Blake, who breaks clear, and the Fijian flyer is away. He's taking on half of the Keighley team. He's finally wrapped up there by Bill Walkley. They're on the last tackle, they're on the power play. There's a kick out of dummy half. Bradford are chasing it. Ball's gone into touch. Whose did that come off? Referee says He won't have to make the call, Kevin Moore, because the full-time hooter will stop him making that call.